Today I'm doing a 20-year sim, or near 20-year sim, on Madden 20 all the way to the 2020 NFL Draft. And not stopping till then. We're going to be going from the year 2002 to, as I stated before, the 2020 NFL Draft. And a lot of stuff has already happened, and I'll be talking, and you guys will see it in the last two parts of this. This is 2004. Now, ultimately, to not spoil anything that's already happened lately, go check out the last two parts, and then come to this part. You can watch it in any order if you want to, but it's better if you watch it from the start of this to the end. So anyways, let's get to the video. Hello guys, this is the Seth Falcons here, and today, we're here in Madden 20 for year 3, 2004, or season 3 of this kind of like NFL like resim thing, like near 20-year resim from 2002 to the 2020 NFL Draft. So ultimately, we're going to be again doing 2004. If you guys haven't watched the last two parts, go watch them before you go on here. I'm going to also hit the like button and just subscribe for the whole series and other gaming stuff, because I've sold my soul to the devil and we'll be getting Madden 24, which is I'm not looking that forward to, but never there's not much other interesting sports gaming stuff. This is kind of the stuff you have to go to. Anyways, I got sent to week 3 before I can get any farther in the sim, because I have to do the 2005 draft class. A little bit farther, and now we will obviously going to week number 3. If everything goes right, then it will. And yeah, so now again, I have to turn off auto. This is the same thing I have to do every single year. It's a pain in the ass, but you know, we're gonna do that. So import local file. This is the 2005 class. And this is going to be an interesting class. Now, obviously, the rookies, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, and Ben Roethlisberger are on different teams. Eli's on the Steelers. I think Ben Roethlisberger on the Bears, I believe, and Phillip Rivers on another team. I forgot, but you can go check back. Anyways, we have the 2005 draft class, and here they are. There's Alex Smith, Roddy Brown, Braylon Edwards, Cedric Benson, rest in peace. There's Carnell Williams, Adam Jones. Oh, Pac-Man Jones. There's, DeMarcus Ware. So there's DeMarcus Ware. Sean Marion, Jamal Brown, Thomas Davis, Derek Johnson, Travis Johnson, Marcus Spears, Matt Jones, Mark Clayton. There's A-Rod, Aaron Rodgers, Jason Campbell, Chris Spencer, Rodney White, I believe I think it's Rodney White. There's Reggie Brown, the wide receiver. So yeah, there's Lafa Tatu, Mike Nugget, Marcus Johnson, Nick Collins. So yeah, there's really Vincent Jackson, rest in peace, Vincent Jackson. So here there's Charlie Fye, Kyle Orton, Dan Orlovsky, Derek Anderson, Matt Castle, there's Ryan Fitzpatrick, and is there anybody else? No. So, obviously, though, this is a lot more like familiar draft class. I swear to God, I feel like that 04 draft class, I just screwed that up, because I hardly recognize any of the names of that, but the 2005 class, I recognize a lot more names. Now, anyways, after that, we're going to sim to the playoffs and just see like where we end up at. So ultimately, who do you think's gonna win the Super Bowl? We'll see. And really make the playoffs at this point. We have some interesting wild cards. And as for the sim, it's gonna be 3 seconds for you, 3 minutes for me. Alright guys, we're in week 17 here. The screen is about to be blacked out. I'm gonna have my hand covering my freaking face so I can see. Alright. We're now on schedules, we're on records, and now we're going to have, see who made the playoffs, and we're going to go division by division again. So there were 2004 playoffs in the AFC North. It's going to be Byron Leftwich and the Cincinnati Bengals. They are won the division for the second time in the series. The Ravens, again, go 10-6. They've been a consistent playoff team, they just haven't been a playoff winner. They're 10-6 though. The Steelers, and I believe that's Eli Manning Steelers, they go 7-9 the first year. Overall, Not shocking. Carson Palmer of the Bengals again, 6-10. Now for the AFC South. Is it going to be Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans, or will Peyton Manning get back the AFC South crown? It's going to be the Colts. Wow. So the Colts go 10-6. They win the AFC South. The Titans, though, do go 9-7 in typical Jeff Fisher fashion, but they are still in the playoffs. The Texans go 4-12, and the Jags have the worst record in the whole damn league. So they might end up taking Alex Smith or Aaron Rodgers in this upcoming draft, most likely, since they went 2-13-1. And the AFC East, the division for the AFC East, and the winner of the AFC East is, wow, the New York Jets. Oh my God, let's go. So the Pats, Dolphins, and Bills all failed to make the playoffs. The Bills and Dolphins were both above 500, even though they had 7 losses. Bills tied twice. The Pats go 9-7. They are the first team out of the playoffs at 9-7. The Jets were the number 1 team in the AFC. Wow, this season's already turning kind of insane. Now we have the AFC West. The AFC West has been historically, over the first 2 years, one of the worser divisions. Now, for the AFC West, the winner of the AFC West is the Chiefs. I should be shocked. They did go 10-6, so that's not as bad as I've seen. The Chargers go 8-8, Broncos go 8-8, the Raiders sucked still at 5-11. So Chiefs win it fairly easy. Now it's NFC North time. The winners of the AFC North, can Brett Favre repeat, or will we have a new contender? It's going to be, why do I even ask? The Packers have the best record in the whole freaking league at 12-4. The Bears, though, I believe with Ben Roethlisberger, go 10-6 and make the playoffs. The Vikings, 8-8 again. The Lions go 3-12-1. I believe the Lions started out 2-0, because from what I saw. But you guys saw. So the Lions went 1-12-1. So that looks pretty bad. So now the NFC South. Will the Falcons and Michael Vick be able to win the division for a second time in a row, or will we get someone else different? Well, the Bucs did win, but the Falcons did make the playoffs. They actually had the same record, but the Bucs have come out of nowhere, and they're 11-4-1. Falcons also went 11-4-1, but they ended up getting beat out likely because of the division. And the Panthers, they go 9-7, fail to make the playoffs. Saints 7-9. So the South may have been one of the most competitive divisions out of all of them. So now, those I believe are our 2 wild cards. Yeah, so the winner of the NFC East and West will be the only other ones in the playoffs. Winner of the NFC East is, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat up the Giants, who went 9-7 as well. Washington, after a great year last year, go 4-11-1. And the Cowboys go 3-12-1. So they may need another quarterback, because Rex Grossman's obviously not their answer. NFL's loving this, though. But the Eagles 9-7 to make the playoffs. Oh, crap. And in the NFC West, you can't see. And the NFC West number 1 team is, of course, the San Francisco 49ers. The Rams went 7-8-1. The Cardinals went 7-9. And the Seahawks went 6-9-1. So obviously, it wasn't exactly ideal. So, ultimately, leading the league, I believe, in passing yards is going to go to Chad Pennington. Well, that's how the Jets were able to do well. Chad Pennington had 4,565 passing yards. Brady had just 60 yards less. Manning was next. Actually, I think Peyton Manning had the most touchdowns. And most touchdowns go to, Vic! So last year, that's funny. He might win MVP because he has most touchdowns because rushing. So Vic scores 43 touchdowns. Manning second with 39 and Pennington with 38. Who had the most picks on the year? Joey Harrington, who had a 30 for 30, except it wasn't exactly 30 for 30. It was 17-17. Who led the league in rushing? Ahman Green, 1,589 yards, 5.5 yards to carry. And who had the most touchdowns? It wasn't Green. It was Tomlinson. LaDainian Tomlinson and Curtis Martin with 13. Marshall Faulk and Anthony Thomas with 12 as well. Now receiving yards. Andre Johnson on the Broncos is now leading receiver already. Troy Brown in second. They're the only two with 1,300 yards. And the most touchdowns, I see T.O. with 14. It's him and Michael or Marty Brocker. So T.O. and Marty Brocker have 14 touchdowns. And Isaac Bruce, just doing Isaac Bruce things. Schofield and Franklin with 13. And then defensively, Isaiah Casey-Vinsky had 157 tackles. And who had the most sacks? That was Takeo Spike, 19.5. Michael Strahan at 18. And those are the only real close ones in contention. Rondé Barber with 7 picks. Charles Woods in second with 5. So, who won the MVP? I think I know who it's going to be. Why'd I freaking tell you? I knew that was coming. It's basically because of the rushing and also throwing the most touchdowns. Payton second, McNabb third, Manning fourth, Garcia fifth, Brady sixth. Rich Ganey was actually able to lead the Chiefs to the playoffs, so that's interesting. And so there's Big Ben, Roethlisberger, even though it doesn't even look close to Big Ben. And Culpepper in 9th and 10th is Steve McNair. And the offensive player of the year, I believe, will probably, because MVP, will likely be Peyton Manning. Defensive player of the year will most likely go to Ray Lewis because he's listed there. Offensive rookie of the year will go to Ben Roethlisberger over Eli Manning. I'll have him over Eli Manning. So Philip Rivers on the Panthers. Okay, so Philip Rivers ended up on the Panthers. Interesting. And defensive rookie of the year will likely go to probably Sean Taylor. Rest in peace, Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor was on the card. So now let's see where the playoffs are going to be at. This is going to be interesting playoffs. Playoff schedule. Oh, it's a rematch of last year's AFC Championship in the wild card. The Titans are going to Cincinnati. Steve McNair versus Byron Leftwich. The Bears are going up against the 49ers. The Ravens are going up against the Chiefs. And the Falcons are going up against the Eagles. All right. So we have some interesting wild card games. So we're going to assume them next week and see what happens. So already we got some interesting stuff here. So now screen's blacked out. I have my hand covering my face for the schedule. So ultimately, our first game, the Titans and Bengals, rematch of the AFC Championship. Will it be Steve McNair, Frank Wycheck, Eddie George, or will it be Byron Leftwich and the Cincinnati Bengals? I didn't mention the Titans. Well, who is it going to be? It is the Tennessee Titans dominate the Bengals 33-13. Steve McNair, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Byron Leftwich threw a pick and no touchdowns. He actually made a 30 quarterback rate, which is sort of ugly. Eddie George had 75 yards on the ground, had a touchdown. Corey Dillon had 64 receiving yards. Frank Wycheck led the team in receiving yards. And defensively, 13 sacks for Ben Simmons. And who had the most sacks? Takeo Spikes with 2. So, yeah, I believe, the Bengals actually got 4 sacks. And obviously the 2 picks right there. So, our next team is, I believe, the Bears and the 49ers. Will it be the rookie Ben Roethlisberger on a continued run, or will it be, I believe, Jeff Garcia and the San Francisco 49ers? It's going to be, wow, Big Ben with a with the 24-21 victory. He gets his first playoff win. 1 touchdown, 1 touchdown, 0 picks. T. Martin actually entered the game. I don't know if Big Ben got hurt or not. I don't know or not. So ultimately, T.O. had a monster game, 120 yards. Dallas Clark had 1 touchdown, 72 yards. Actually, a lot of these guys actually had more yards. The 49ers had 4 receivers who had over 40 yards. Only 2 receivers for the Bears even had 40 yards. So ultimately, let's see how the defenses went. Urlacher led the team in almost tackles. Andre Card, a sack and a half, and 2. Mike Brown again got picked. So obviously, so now it's time for our other AFC game. It's the Ravens and Chiefs. Is it going to be the Ravens and Ray Lewis in that defense, or will Rich Gannon lead the Chiefs on a run, potentially a Super Bowl run? Will the Ravens be able to continue their playoff failure, or will they finally get a playoff win? It'll be... It's going to be the Ravens. They finally have done it. 35-26. The Ravens win by 9. Jeff Blake threw 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. And Rich Gannon had 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. Jamal Lewis had 77 yards on the ground. And Chester Taylor also had 43 yards. He had a touchdown. Priest Holmes at 37. The biggest problem for the Chiefs looks like very well their run game. Like they only have 1 rusher. And the rushing yards was 41. So that's probably what made the difference was the rushing yards. Receiving wise, Dante Hall had another monster game, 1-7. Nate Burleson as well at 83 yards. Anquan Bolden, Eddie Kennison had 2 touchdowns. And defensively, Devon Samuels had 12 tackles. And ultimately, the Ravens had 3 sacks. The Ravens had all sacks. Jeff Blake didn't get sacked once. And again, no picks. Now our last game is the Falcons and Eagles. Will Vic finally be able to get a playoff win against the Eagles? And will the Eagles have continued playoff problems? Who will it be? Falcons or Eagles? Which bird team is it going to be? It is, wow! Oh my God! A beatdown in Philly, 44-3. Wow, and the 3 was scored, and the third was unscored in the final quarter. Oh, Eagles fans probably just rided that game for 50 yards. They had a perfect game. 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. McNabb had 2 picks and 323 yards. Warwick Dunn had 72 yards, a touchdown. They got 4 attempts for 18 yards. McNabb had actually more attempts, much successful. Yeah, just not really that good run game. Falcons had Warwick Dunn had a great game. Had 100 receiving yards and a touchdown. Kendall Schofield had a touchdown as well. Overall, it didn't look that bad game for the Eagles. McNabb threw bad interceptions. Cedric Samuel led the game in tackles and sacks. So they sacked Vic a total of 4 times, while the Falcons only got 2 sacks. But again, guess it came from more of those major interceptions, because the game looks a lot closer than the actual box score probably said it was, but it looked pretty bad. So now we head to the divisional round. The Titans now have to take on the number 1 Jets. The Bears take the Packers on in a divisional playoff game. The Ravens take on the Colts at Indy. And the Falcons are going to be taking on the Bucks in Tampa. So we got some interesting games here, folks, in the divisional round. So now we head to the divisional round, or we sim into the conference championship. Had even more interesting results. So screen will be officially blackened out. Who is going to win? First game into the week, Titans and Jets. Will be Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans, or Chad Pennington and the New York Jets? Officially going to be the Titans are doing it again. They're doing it again. This time as a wild card road team. They upset the Jets 35-17. They actually outscored the Jets completely. They doubled the points. Chad Pennington actually had almost a better game. 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. McNair had 3 touchdowns, though, 1 pick. Overall, it's actually seemed like mostly a close game, by majority, although there's only 1 running back mainly for the Curtis Martin for the Jets. Eddie George had 84 rushing yards. Receiving wise, Preston Williams had 77 yards, 1 touchdown. Derek Mason, 1 touchdown. Yeah, overall, that was an interesting game because, again, these guys led and tackles. And the Jets had 3 sacks, Titans had 2 sacks, and Kingsbury had a pick. So our next game is, I believe, Packers and Bears. Yeah, Packers and Bears. The rivalry game, the great rivalry game, will be a young Ben Roethlisberger as a rookie come in and upset the big mighty Packers, or will Brett Favre, not my green of the Green Bay Packers, lead the team back to the NFC Championship? It is going to be the Green Bay Packers winning by 3 at home. They went 38-35 in an all-time classic. Favre threw 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Roethlisberger threw 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. T. Martin again was playing. I don't even know how. Again, I guess Big Ben got hurt, which could make the difference. I agree that a monster game. That's what the difference was the run game. 2 touchdowns, 131 yards on the ground. And the Bears just had Big Ben led the team in rushing yards. The Bears. So the Bears just did not have a existent running game. Donald Driver and David Terrell both had 100-yard games, but Donald Driver had an extra touchdown. Overall, it was a very competitive game. I think what made the difference was the rushing. It was just bad. Having Big Ben be your lead rusher. This guy led the game in tackles. And 3 sacks for Packers by Joe Johnson, and Brian Urlacher had 1 on Packers. So now the AFC, the Ravens and the Colts. Will it be Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts, or will Ray Lewis and Jeff Blake and the Baltimore Ravens come in here and upset the Colts? It's going to be the Indianapolis Colts 38-10. It wasn't even a freaking question. 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, 0 touchdowns, and 2 picks for Jeff Blake. Peyton Manning, again, pretty much a perfect game. In rushing yards, Edgerrin James was the leading rusher, 1 touchdown. Both him and Jamal Lewis had 1 touchdown. Lewis had about 20 yards less. Coupler, they just overall had the better run game than again the Ravens. Receiving yards, Todd Heap actually had 88 yards. Edgerrin James had 81. So Edgerrin James was the leading rusher and receiver on the Colts. He was do it all. Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne had 1 catch, and then defensively, Ray Lewis led the team in tackles. Sacks goes to both teams had 2 sacks, and these 2 guys got picks off of Jeff Blake. Our last game, Falcons versus Bucks. Will the Falcons be able to come in and continue, be able to actually, after finally having some momentum after winning a playoff game, will they come in and win, or will the Bucks be able to pull off the win at home? Winner is going to be... They're doing it. It's happening again, folks. It's happening again. The road playoff teams are proving the home curse is something you don't want to do. That's a weird score, too. 15-13. Falcons win it. They got a safety, which made the difference. They got 272 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 picks. Chris Sims, that's the Bucs starting quarterback, by the way. It's Chris Sims, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Okay, this is looking real bad on paper now. Vic led the team in rushing, read the whole game rather than rushing, 56 yards. Mike Allscott, who's the fullback, led them in rushing. Just really not much rushing done. Already done in an ugly game rushing. It just looks ugly. 73 yards, Kendall Schofield. Matt McCollum, 6 yards. Ralph Miller had 2 touchdowns. I guess they tried to go for 2, which in turn would have tied the game or done a receiving touchdown. This overall just looks like an ugly and sloppy game. Derek Brooks, these 3 guys all led the team in tackles. Wow. How many freaking sacks in total? Okay, how many sacks would that in total be? I believe that would be 4 sacks by each team. 4 sacks by each team. Okay, this looks bad. And then who got the pick? Chris Draft. This just looks like overall is a very sloppy and ugly game. This game right here. Now we have the conference championship. It's the divisional championship against the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts and the Atlanta Falcons and the Green Bay Packers. Woo, we got some good games there for the AFC Championship. We are very close to almost a repeat of Super Bowl, I believe it was Super Bowl 38. So now what will Super Bowl 39 look like in total? Conference championship. As soon as the screen comes up, it will be blackened out for you. And who will be in the Super Bowl. It's league schedule. Season week win. So, for the Super Bowl, our first game is, I believe, for the conference championship will be the Titans and Colts. Will Steve McNair, Frank Wycheck, and A. George and the Tennessee Titans be able to pull off what would be considered an upset, but not really an upset because they've been a road team and they've won 2 in a row against the Peyton Manning-led Indianapolis Colts? Who will be in Super Bowl 39 for the AFC? It's going to be the Indianapolis Colts. Have them held off. The Titans in charge by the Titans. 28-25. Peyton Manning is in his second Super Bowl. Manning threw 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Steve McNair had 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. Edgerrin James had a big game on the ground, 100 yards. This guy was the only guy who scored a touchdown on the ground. A. George had... So overall, Titans were able to kind of equal it up, even kind of combined. Receiving wise, who is Justin McCarron? I've never heard of this guy. Doug Gabriel had a big game as well. Both these guys had monster games, 134, 137 yards. Gabriel had 2 touchdowns. Derek Mason had 1, and Marcus Pollard had 2. And for tackles, these 2 guys had the leading tackles in the game. And in total, the Colts had 2 sacks, the Titans had 1 sack, and Andre Dyson, again, he's making a run for playoff player of the year. He's had 2 picks in the games. So the Colts are our first team. They are returning to the Super Bowl. Now, for the NFC Championship, it is Michael Vick and the Atlanta Falcons versus Brett Favre and Ahman Green and the Green Bay Packers. Which one will it be? Will Vic be in his first Super Bowl, or will Brett Favre return back onto the revenge tour after losing Super Bowl 38? In Lambeau Field, it's going to be... the pay. They've done... The Favre Packers are back in this Super Bowl. They beat the Falcons in overtime. Mark Brunell is back on the freaking Packers. Hold on, wait, did Favre get hurt? I'm going to have to check it real quick if Favre actually did get hurt. Brad Favre and Vic threw 2 touchdowns, but Vic had 1 pick, which could have made the actual difference. I'm on Green, the holy frick, 379 yards. That's almost 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, or down 1 touchdown. That's the difference. That was the difference right there. Schofield had 154 yards. Chambert had a touchdown. Ferguson had 93 yards. Wow, there were some monster games by the offense. It was definitely an offensive shootout, but the difference was made. This guy led the team. Bryant Westbrook led the team in tackles, or led the game in tackles. And Paris, okay, wow. So I have some news to tell you guys. So the Packers got 5 sacks. I'll leave that at that. So the Super Bowl matchup is the Colts and the Packers. It's Brett Favre versus Peyton Manning. So we get the magical Super Bowl that a lot of people actually would like to see for Super Bowl 39. Now, this is, I believe, even though in this game it's not going to be definitely not going to be in Jacksonville, that's where the Super Bowl is played, in Jacksonville. Brett Favre, if he is healthy, and not Mark Brunell, and Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be a fun one. Fun one definitely on paper. 2 legends. Who is it gonna be? Will it be Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts? Or will it be Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers? Who's it gonna be for Super Bowl 39? It is Brett Favre has gotten his 2nd ring. The Packers win 28-21. Well, someone will be very happy about that, I know. And 3 touchdowns. Wow, what a game by both quarterbacks. 3 touchdowns by each, no picks. And this was competitive. That's what competition is. Nearly identical rushing yards, nearly identical quarterback numbers, although 1 touchdown Rob on Green might have made the difference. Receiving yards, that's where the difference was. That was where the main difference was. 2 touchdowns between both. Donald Driver actually had a 100-yard receiver. Walker was almost a 100-yard receiver. And Marvin Harrison, Marcus Pollard, all they were able to combine to make it. Robert Griffith led the team in tackles. And did anybody have sacks? Only these guys. Sack Manning. It was only 1 sack for Manning, no picks. Wow, that is definitely a Super Bowl of all time. So the Packers, so we've had so far 3 different winners. Now we head to the draft to see where everyone ends up in free agency. Now, this last part, we've had already some amazing and pretty insane results. Now the question is, who's going to draft where and who's going to draft who? Yeah. Hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. I've been. Even though the pain is the Falcons have caused of just seeing this. This proves though that they can get the Super Bowl. Almost. The big question will be, can they win it though? Now, so the other teams, that was the first 2 AFC teams. Now our first NFC team Super Bowl win. Packers almost could have back to back. Now, who will go where? So obviously, a couple big ones. Larry Allen to the Pats. That'll help out the Patriots a bit with Thomas Bradelson. Jeff Garcia to the Raiders. Oh, wait, did Garcia actually... No, that was Kerry Collins. Was it Kerry Collins or did Jeff Garcia... No, Jeff Garcia was on the Bucs and Eagles. So, yeah, that's interesting to have Jeff Garcia after leading the Niners close to the Super Bowl. Close to the division. They'll need a quarterback, though. Ron Stone to the Rams. Matt Light to the Dolphins. John Lynch staying on the Bucs. Dwight Smith on the Steelers. Bryant Young on the 49ers. Tom Polley on the Eagles. Keyshawn Johnson on the Vikings to pair up with Randy Moss. So we get Willie McGinnis on the Vikings. Jerome Bettis signed with the Chiefs. He leaves the Steelers, signed with the Chiefs. Anthony Thomas on the Browns. And Robert Griffin is now going to Washington. And Lamont Jordan on the Dolphins. So overall, a lot more active free agency. Now, where did the quarterback sign? Cordell Stewart on the freaking Chiefs. And Sean King on the Chiefs. Hudson Wallace on the Bucs. So ultimately... Hold on, real quick. I almost forgot to do it, but we're still in the year. Let's see who all retired real quick and get signed to press. So retired in the NFL. This guy retired. Brad Carter, Kanan McCardell retired. Ray Brown, Willie Ruff, Cunningham retired. Wally Williams, Gary Anderson retired. Fred Taylor retired. James Stewart, Darren Woodson, Vaughn Parker retired. Jamal Anderson, and these 2 ended up retiring. So down there, the coaches.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
Now the last thing we gotta get to is the NFL draft, the 2005 NFL draft. Big question gonna be, who will the Jags select with the first pick in the 2005 NFL draft? The Jacksonville Jaguars select Ronnie Brown. There's a Fred Taylor replacement. No Fred Taylor, no problem. Jags gonna give Ronnie Brown. With the second pick in the 2005 NFL draft, the Dallas Cowboys select, answer that question, Alex Smith to the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, there's going to be a lot of people pissed about this one. The Cowboys, obviously, Rex Gross was not working out. Now, with the third pick, this is the team we're controlling, which is the Lions. Third pick in the 2005 NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select Braylon Edwards, a wide receiver. We actually probably didn't need wide receivers since offense looks terrible, although that's a nice number.
The Redskins.
With the fourth pick in the 2005 NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Pac-Man Jones. The Texans trying to bolster the team up. Pac-Man Jones. With the fifth pick in the 2005 NFL draft, Washington selects Antrell Rollo, corner. So to pair him up with Sean Taylor and try and build a defense up with Sean Taylor. That's how they do with Antrell. With the sixth pick in the 2005 NFL draft, the Oakland Raiders select Carlos Rogers, another corner. There is the that's a Raiders pick right there for sure. Nice overall.
The Seahawks are now
second pick in the 2005 NFL draft, the Cleveland Browns select DeMarcus Ware. 2. Well, Cleveland Browns, they've got some big-time players. They may be building a team to eventually compete in the division, in the AFC North. With the 8th pick in the
Cardinals are now on the
2005 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Sean Merriman, lights out. That'll be good. That's good. Seahawks. Yeah, good pick. 9th pick in the
Steelers are now on the
2005
clock.
NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Thomas Davis. So who also comes from Utah, same as Alex Smith. So that's me interesting. Thomas Davis to the Cardinals, and our last pick in this draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2005 draft, at least
are now on the
top
clock.
10. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Jamal Brown, linebacker. Gotta protect Eli. You gotta protect Eli. Now we'll stem to the end of the draft and see who lands where. Mainly what quarterbacks land where, and see how things go. So, round 7, Sim draft. And we are to land right now. Let's see the draft recap. We'll see all the rest of the first round picks and see them where some of the major quarterbacks landed. Well, the Lions got Charlie Fye. Now let's see for the whole NFL past the top 10 picks. So Derek Johnson goes to the Saints. Aramis James to the Rams. Travis Johnson to the Broncos. That's actually good because they say he's in Europe. Marcus Spears to the Bills. Fabian Washington to the Vikings. Troy Williamson, who's so far the lowest overall we've gone through, 66 overall to the Chargers. Mike Williams to the Dolphins. Luis Castillo, defensive tackle to the Giants. Matt Jones, wide receiver. That's tied for the lowest overall we've seen so far to the Pats. Rodney White, I think that's Rodney White to the Panthers. Cedric Benson goes to the Eagles. That'll actually be good. That'll help the Eagles out a lot. Oh, there it is. The Chiefs select Aaron Rodgers. So, no, it will not be Cordell Stewart starting. The Chiefs land Aaron Rodgers. Heath Miller to the Bengals. Another weapon for Byron Leftwich. The 49ers select Mike Patterson. David Bass goes to, as a center, he goes to the Ravens. Barrett Rudd, middle linebacker, he goes to the Bears. Chris Spencer to the Bucks, and Mark Clayton to the Jets. Those are both tied for lowest overall. Michael Roos to the Titans. Falcons land Logan Mankins, protect Vic. Kevin Burnett in middle linebacker. And Lofa Tatupai. I know I butchered that horribly. Those are the Packers. Reggie Brown to the Texans. Nick Collins lands on Washington. Calv Barnes, Raiders. Justin Miller. So ultimately, we'll see Jonathan Babox goes to the Saints. Vincent Jackson, rest in peace, goes to the 49ers. That could be their eventual T.O. replacement. Frank Gore and LaDainian Tomlinson on the Chargers. Oh, that'll be friggin' deadly. Alex Smith tight end on the Giants. Oh, that's me devastating. Richie Incognito to the Ravens. Justin Tuck to the Bears. That defense is going to look insane. Evan Mathis on the Jets. Now let's take a look at, Jason Campbell. The Jags. That might be the Jags' replacement quarterback, potentially. So the Jags do. So now, where do the other quarterbacks? Matt Castle. He's on the Saints. Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's Carson Palmer's backup. Derek Anderson on the Titans. That could be a potential upper for Steve McNair. Dan Orlowski back up on the Chargers. Kyle Orton. Wow, that's funny because Orton later on ended up playing for the Broncos. And that's gonna be that. Any other like major running back? Darren Sproles on the Cowboys. Oh, that's an Emmitt Smith replacement. That's pretty major. Marion Barber, rest in peace, goes to, ironically, the Giants. Carnell Williams, or I believe that's nicknamed Cadillac Williams. I think that's his name, is Cadillac Williams. He goes to the 49ers. I think that's him. So, yeah, where did other major players in the draft go? Jay Ratiff, that's a 5th rounder of the Falcons. Any other major players we missed? Chris Canty on the Ravens. Elton Brown on the Dolphins. Trent Cole goes to Browns. So, Altari Bigsby on the Ravens. Dan Connolly, legendary running right guard to the Dolphins, who's for the Pats. Kevin Vickerson to the Ravens, and Joel Dresson to the 49ers. So 49ers had a decent draft. We have a lot of interesting stuff. I'm gonna check real quick on who is to be the starter. As my voice is finally dying on me as we speak. So who's actually the starting quarterback for these teams? Just interested. Jeff Garcia, Mark Bulger's about to take over for Warner because Warner's really starting to regress down. The Ravens don't have a quarterback. Oh, you're freaking serious. Ooh, Aaron Brooks could be eventually, like Matt Castle could be actually Aaron Brooks' replacement. So, Troy Redmond, this is an interesting quarterback room for this, for the Steelers. So, just going to continue looking. Vic's actually the highest rated quarterback. I just saw that. That's funny. Seneca Wallace of the Bills. Oh, Kyle Orton might take over for Brian Greasy this very season. Again, I don't know why Trace McSorley's here, but he is. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tim Couch as well. What a friggin' quarterback room that is. So there's Chris Sims, Jake Plummer, Josh McCall. What a QB room. Trent Green. This may be Trent Green's last season. They have Cordell Stewart as well. Manning, Alex Smith. Yeah, Rex Grossman was just developing too slow, so they'll replace him. The Dolphins have Tony Romo. Oh yeah, we never really heard much of Tony Romo. It was quiet. Start off. CJ Samuels. Jason Campbell. David Garrard, though. Jason Campbell will likely be a backup for now. So yeah. So I just saw. Do the Chargers still have... Wow, Larry oh my God, that is the most disgusting running back room I've ever seen. LaDainian Tomlinson, Larry Johnson, and Frank Gore. Oh, the Chargers cannot waste this opportunity. They can't. There's no way they cannot. I think the Chargers could very well be division winners next season. I really do. So yeah, with that being said, with my voice gone, that's me it for part 3. So, yeah, season 3, we're heading into the 2005 season. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all next time.